Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the art studio. So this is one of my first ever live streams that I'm doing, and I just basically wanted to be able to show people what I'm up to really in my studio at the moment. So at the moment I'm doing a number of different teaching exercises. I'm doing a number of classes. And often I need to prepare by doing some different drawings and so forth. One class I'm doing at the moment, we're looking at drawing figures dancing. So I'm going to be drawing a bit of prep for that class to get ready. So I'm going to just do that. And the other thing is I've got a drawing that I'd like to finish off, which is a nightingale. Really interesting, beautiful bird. Apparently sings over 1,000 different songs or tunes or whatever you want to call them. And they've been spotted at Rushden Lakes and Meadows, which is where the well-known shopping centre is. There's a visitor centre there at the Wildlife Trust. And you can get out there and you can walk around the lakes, you can go shopping, you can do all those sorts of things. But the Wildlife Trust has got a place there, and apparently these beautiful birds, at least these beautiful singing birds, the birds themselves are quite plain, have been spotted there. And so that's something that would probably make a really nice illustration. So I've been illustrating. Sorry about that. I've been illustrating this bird and including a few little details from Rushden Lakes on there, the boardwalks. So we're going to be looking at that in just a few minutes. So these are some of the pictures. I'll put you on my desk area. So these are some of the images that I've chosen to draw from today. I quite like this one because she's like almost off the ground. He's on one foot. There's a lot of movement in the body just here. This one very dramatic, and this one could even be the same people dancing together here. And I love the contrast between the dress and his dark suit and the way the light falls on the faces as well. So I probably won't finish this drawing today, but I'm going to make a start on it so that we've got something to work with at the class that I'm doing later this week on Thursday. So I'm just going to be sketching. If anyone is there, which I doubt very much because it's my first one, I've not really told anyone I'm doing this. But if anyone's there and wants to say anything, chat or something, and there's the chat thingy at the side there, or if you just want to like what I'm doing, brilliant. Be lovely to hear from you. Alrighty. So anyway, I'm in my studio here. You can see my studio behind me. I do a lot of lino printing, I do a lot of collage, and one of the things that I love to do is use words within the picture without it being too much of a distraction, but also a little area of extra interest that kind of maybe lights up the imagination a little bit when you read it as well. So I'm going to start sketching out one of these images. I do like that one. So I may go for that one first of all. Yeah, let's try it. I don't very often draw figurative things like this, but it should be a little bit of fun to have a go at this afternoon. Alrighty, so I'm going to switch off my camera and I'm just going to do, the one that's on me, and I'm going to do a little bit of this drawing here. So let's see, there we go. So let's see how we get on. We're just doing a little bit of sketching this afternoon. One of the things that is a little bit annoying at the moment is that I need to put a I need to diffuse the light a little bit that's coming down on the paper. And without that, it makes it harder to see. So the direct light bounces straight into the camera lens and causes reflection. So, but we'll see how we get on. Let's have a go. I'm going to stand up for this and then switch off my my camera that has got me on it for now. Just see how we get. I don't know if I should leave it on or not, but I'm going to switch it off for a short while. Hopefully you can still hear me. I usually like to stand up when I'm drawing as well, especially if I'm sketching out details of something. So let's have a look. So just trying to work out how to position everything so you can see what I'm doing. So always start really lightly and look basically at the angles, and by doing like the angles of the arm across here for example and his arm, and we're starting to map out where everything goes. So this is almost like a stick figure, but I'm not just looking at, you know, the skeletal sort of structure of these beautiful people dancing. I'm also looking at the angles in the clothing and the spaces, and by drawing it really lightly like this to begin with is a nice way to just work out where you're going to position things, and then I'll do some more careful measuring a little bit later as well. So there we go. We've got his collar just here. There. So I feel quite good about the initial bit of drawing is always the bit that's you know, you think, oh my gosh, is this going to go right? Is this going to go wrong? But usually these days, anyway, I find that I feel better the moment I start to put things down on the page. Now the purpose of doing this is when I come to drawing, we're looking at different approaches to drawing as well. So once I've got the basic outlines of this, what I intend to do is draw in a different sort of style to what I would normally do by looking at a different artist to inspire it. So she's got a lovely, the way she's leaning away from him and he's kind of leaning away from her creates this lovely, I guess, kind of tension between the two dancers as well, which I'm hoping to capture a little bit maybe. I don't know if you can see any of this really. Probably not very well, no. Let's see what happens if I switch off the light a bit. Doesn't really make much difference. I'll switch the main lights off. Seems to be a bit better. Now, the other thing to look for when you're drawing is the spaces between things as well. So the space between the dancers would be a negative shape. So whilst I'm trying to draw the dancers, I'm also attempting, anyway, to draw the spaces between the dancers. And if I get that space right, it helps to sort of get the rest a little bit better, hopefully. And keep saying hopefully. And maybe I don't sound very confident, but that's okay. So, and you'll see I'm just doing it really gently and lightly to start with, so I can get these angles right, because essentially if you get the big angles more accurate, then you're more likely to get the whole thing a bit closer as well to where you want it to be. At the same time as leaning quite a lot in this image, she looks very stable too. There's a nice space between her legs, or between his legs. Just down here is a nice little negative shape, it's triangular, and then that joins nicely to her leg or her shin. And there's his foot on the other side there, and her heel is right next to his ankle. Trousers, crease in trousers. It's the light from the window we've got a problem with at the moment here. See if I can bring that down a bit. See if that helps. That might help a bit. And we've got her arm, and down here. Yeah. Shoulder, and then just above her shoulder, leaning slightly forward, of course. Quite a way up there. interesting when you're drawing. You spot all your mistakes and differences as you draw. Certainly not a perfect drawing, but it's a lot of fun doing it. I shan't go much further with this today, because what I want to do is use it in the lesson to talk through. So what's quite nice about doing this one is that you're looking at the shapes, the lighting as well. Where the shadows fall to make the effects that we're looking at here. So, whereas I'm not aiming for perfection, I'm just trying to sort of enjoy the process of doing the drawing as a way into the lesson that where we're going to be looking at drawing techniques again. Very dark, this area here. So one of the key things with this drawing was looking at this shape, which I'm shading in now, because that space between the couple dancing helped me to get it closer. What we were aiming for, which of course is to draw them dancing, to show the angle of the movement in their bodies. And I like this idea of her being kind of practically off the ground and him only having one foot on the ground as well. Mid-movement sort of thing. It's lovely. So I mean, I've focused like on getting stuck in with all this shading and detail at the top, because that's what's really interested me. But normally I would suggest shading the whole thing gently, a bit like I'm doing down here on the legs. Adding gentle tones, because the tones as well as the lines can be refined as you work on it. Anyway, I feel like I've done a bit of prep for that meeting that I've got. Her back heel is just off the back of her stiletto. I've just noticed. Lovely. Background around their faces there is very dark, but not going to go that far today. Catch the pinching of his jacket. There. Right, well, I'm not going to finish that one now, as I keep saying. Although, usual case scenario is that I start drawing and then I can't stop. Anyway, let's just come back out. I want to show you my next drawing now, which I'll work on for about 10 minutes. There we go. Yay! One last adjustment. Notice his forehead comes in a bit too much here. He's come upwards around here. And then I'm gonna just bring his hair in a little bit as well. There we are. Looks a bit more like him. Not entirely, but you know. Earring is very bright. Let's just get that out there. There we go. Didn't notice little refiney bits as we go along here now. Feels a bit wide here, perhaps it's the shadow. So the other bit that I've really been enjoying doing lately, I just thought I'd show you this. Let's get rid of that side for a minute. Actually, that was quite useful, wasn't it? Bit of white paper. I'll turn that drawing over. There we go. So I've just finished carving this one. I'm doing a lot of carving at the moment because I've got a lot of linos that I've been working or designs in this sketchbook I'm going to show you. Just going to turn my light on and see if that I'm getting a lot of blurry bits on here. That's better, isn't it? So when I've sorted out the overhead business lighting, I should be able to just have all my lights on. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Lighting is difficult with pencil. But yeah, this is my swan that I've been working on. That's the original drawing. I've added a few like characteristics and things. So I wanted to emphasize the eye a bit more and take it away from being too kind of ordinary. And I've put a bit more expression on this eye by going around the edges with a line or carving out a line. And then originally this drawing didn't have any of the shading in the background or around the outside. So what I did is I shaded in the background, and then that basically was an inverted. So I've inverted the inside to the outside so that we've almost got a darker frame around here, and it holds together the whole design a little bit more as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, I enjoy carving these things out. Just carving is lovely. Almost better than, well, it is for me. I enjoy this more than the printing bit. I enjoy the long sort of process of the whole thing, you know. So I've got quite a few of these now that I need to think about printing, but I'm going to design the background for them eventually. Anyway, oh, I've got a hoopoo here as well. This is much smaller. Wish I did New Year's. I did that one. So I'm going to design 2 lino blocks for that one, whereas the other one will be a printed background. Alright, so my sketchy book, this one, is what I've been working on like a lot lately. So these are all of these designs I'm going to turn into. I've turned this one into a lino block, and this one, and this one, and as you saw a minute ago, this one. But I can equally use my I can use Adobe Fresco to add colour to these as well, which I really love doing, because you can really quickly put in lots of other textures and ideas into your work. So there's that one. I'm going to do the Kingfisher next, and there's a whole load of other designs here that I've been working on since around November. So I did a drawing a day sort of thing for a while. I have these bursts of creativity, and then after that I sort of change over and get distracted or whatever. Here's another hoopoo. Distinctive birds hoopoos. And then a bit further on, I really love steam engines for some reason. A bit like steam trains. So this was a screenshot of a video that I saw, and then I've turned it into a drawing and added in different textures of my own and so forth, and got the smoke coming out of the funnel up here. and I added a hedgehog. So this picture is called Hedgehog Crossing. I'm going to eventually turn that into something. I don't know if I'll have time, but so this one, which I'm going to work on for a few minutes now before we stop, is my nightingale image. And the nightingale is a beautiful little thing because it sings over 1,000 songs, and it lives in briar or scrubland, like dense thickets of impenetrable scrubland, which is what we've got around at Rushden Lakes. So oops, let's just move that up a bit. Can't see it there, can you? Oh, I could. Just going to shift it up a bit. There you go. Make it slightly smaller. There. Yeah, so yeah, they live in dense, impenetrable, I can't say it, impenetrable, yeah, impenetrable, like scrubland, which we've got a lot of in around sort of Rushden Lakes and those sorts of areas. So it's quite good, really. And also one of the reasons for that might be that they also nest on the ground or near the ground too. But yeah, they suggested the Wildlife Trust suggested they might like a design with a nightingale. They're kind of, they're very shy and elusive birds. They're mostly brown as well, with sort of a greyish white chest, I guess, and yeah, they're really famous for their songs, aren't they, and things. So last night I thought, right, I've got to get on with this and start drawing. So this is a briar bush or tree or whatever, and they have this quite distinctive small leaves, and then they have these, like this particular image that I'm working on here, they've got these little buds for flowers. So yeah, last night I drew this whilst watching the TV. And I feel most at home when I'm doing it, because if you've got something else to sort of think about at the same time as working, it's often really beneficial because it helps you to sort of relax a little bit and not be too precious about everything. So eventually, when I do this, I shall have some music on my headphones or something, and occasionally yabber on like I am now. So a bit like the last one I just talked about, the swan, I'm going to have a darker background behind here. So I've got this briar bush here, and just along here at the back is going to be where Rushden Lakes Boardwalk is, just here. And then in the background, I think that's Canoe 2 there, and the Wildlife Trust is here to the side. But I mean, it still represents what Rushden Lakes is, which is by the lakes and a shopping place. So yeah, it's quite nice. People maybe recognise it and that. It's quite funny actually. I just thought I'm doing this live stream. Absolutely nobody is watching, so I'm kind of sitting here talking to myself. They say it's good for you, don't they? I don't know. So I mean, I really love drawing with lines, so a lot of what I'm doing here is literally line and shadow and things like that to illustrate with. So the line under here is representing the shadow of the bird to give it a little bit of that depth, and then the colours that go behind these lines when I use Adobe Fresco or I do a lino print will add more colour and texture and tone and shadow as well. So really all I'm doing here, because I drew out, like I did before, I drew out these lines really quite lightly to begin with, and then if I was happy with them, which I am for the most part, then I can go around them. And I'll just do it before I finish today. I'll just do a little bit of shading around here. So one of the things I do often is I have this kind of spiral going to a point of interest. So the point of interest being, obviously the bird stands out, it comes right forward, but you're being led into the background to a degree. So this spiral comes from all the detail in the front and goes right round into the middle, where we've got our Wildlife Trust Centre or Rushden Lakes. So this is all a lake here. So before I finish, I'll do a little bit of shading in and around here, and we can maybe see how that's going to look as a design. And then later tonight I'll probably put in more detail on the Rushden Lakes side of things. Yeah, so these birds, they're obviously they're iconic, really. I mean, there's songs written about them, but they have over a thousand different tunes that they sing. I mean, that is just stunning. And apparently they're migratory as well, so they will go for winter, they'll go to Africa and places like that. But they're found all over Europe and other places too, obviously including England. So you can see now I'm starting to pick out this area. My pencil's getting a bit low, and my sharpener's in the other room, so just sitting there working my way along. Actually, do you know what? I think I've got another pencil. Ooh, so I don't have to move. We don't like moving, do we? So I'm using a 6B. I love a 6B pencil. Yeah, that's better. It's a longer one as well. So I'm using the 6B pencil because you can get really dark, and I love contrast. So adding that lovely contrast into the image almost mimics that lino effect, so makes it quite translatable. You can scan the lines really effectively as well for digital work, and you can be quite, I like the deliberateness of going darker. That's one of my catchphrases at my art classes, go darker. They were making a joke that I should make some t-shirts with go darker on it. It is nice though, once you get sort of settled in drawing at your desk, this is the place. This is where I love to be. Just sitting and drawing. It's like luxury. It's luxury to be able to just enjoy the moment. Bringing something to life on the page. Is the best as far as I'm concerned. So at the edge of the dark bits there that I've just shaded in, it's nice just to do some sort of dashes to sort of break up the gap between this framing sort of foreground and the lighter background that we're going to have. So it's very similar to the swan one that I looked at earlier. Go. In some ways I like the drawings a bit more than the linos because there's a bit more spontaneity in the hand in a drawing like this, and you can see all the little bits where you've, you know, scratched the surface of the paper with your pencil. It just makes me happy. So this area, I'm going to only go right up against this area here with the shading in the background, so that I think this tail here becomes a bit more part of this somehow, I think. Gonna have some birds in the sky, maybe even a cloud up here as well. Be quite nice. Anyway, if you do watch this video, anyone out there, then please give me a like or something, just to show me that I'm doing something right with live streaming, or leave a comment, tell me what I could do better. I've had fun anyway, that's the main thing. I shall do a bit more on that tonight. Right, okay, well, thanks. Have a good rest of your Monday, and I will see you the next time that I do some drawing. That might even be tomorrow, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it anyway, and I'll see you soon. Bye.